All right, let's be super honest here just for a second. How many of you feel as though you're spinning your wheels in your business? You're working hard, you're busy all the time, but somehow you're just not moving forward the way you want. Does this sound familiar? So here's the thing, it might not be you. It might be the way that you're using or not using your goals. Stick with me here because today we're going to fix that. So, hey, everybody, I'm Carol Serby, a business coach who's been right where you are. I've spent years helping overwhelmed business owners transform into confident leaders. Hey, even I was one of those people. I don't know if you know this about me, but I actually owned and ran a specialty concrete business for 25 years in Vancouver, BC, Canada. So I have been exactly where you are. So let me tell you a little bit about helping overwhelmed business owners transform into confident leaders. It's not about doing more, it's about doing the right things. Let me say that again. It's not about doing more, it's about doing the right things. Back when I ran my own business, I used to think if I just work harder, it's all going to fall into place. It didn't. But once I figured out how to use goals as a tool for strategic thinking, everything changed. And that's what I want to share with you here today. We're diving into 4 ways that you can use goals to get clear, to think ahead, to align your team, and to reflect for growth. Along the way, we're going to tackle why ignoring this process might be what's keeping you stuck, and this is the fun part, how to break free. By the end of this session, you're going to have a game plan to stop feeling like your business is running you and start running it with purpose and clarity. So let me ask you this. Have you ever sat at your desk and at the end of the day thought, what on earth did I even get done today? I've been there. When your goals are unclear or worse, missing, it's like trying to steer a ship through a storm without a compass. You're busy, but you're just not going anywhere. The impact of this chaos is real. You'll waste time on thinking on things that just don't matter. You'll miss out on opportunities, and honestly, it's exhausting. You might even start doubting yourself, wondering, why does this feel so hard for me? So here's a fix. First, make your goals crystal clear. I'm talking SMART goals. We want them to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. For example, instead of saying, I want my revenue to grow, doesn't everybody? Try, I want to achieve $100,000 in reoccurring revenue by the end of quarter 2. Doesn't that feel much more actionable? Second, map it out. I love using tools like Trello or even just a notebook or a 90-day plan. Break that big scary goal into smaller bite-sized pieces. If your goal is to launch a new product, what's the first step? Research, prototype, pick one and start there. Lastly, every morning, pick up your top 3 priorities for the day. Ask yourself, what is going to move my needle for today? And if you're like me, maybe write them on sticky notes, right? And stick them literally on your coffee cup so that you don't forget. And here's something fun. Right now, let's take a moment and write down one specific goal for your business. If you're feeling brave, I want you to drop it in the comments. I'd love to cheer you on and potentially give you some pointers. So here's a scenario. You're launching a new product and suddenly, bam, Your supplier's late, your team is overwhelmed, and you're left thinking, oh my God, why didn't I see this coming? Does that sound familiar? Well, without strategic goals, you're stuck reacting to problems instead of planning for them. This can be a super costly mistake. Not only does it drain your resources, but it also keeps you feeling like you're always playing catch up. So, how do we flip that script? First, let's talk about scenario planning. Think about your big goal and ask yourself, what could go wrong? It isn't about being negative, it's about being prepared. And if you're launching a new service, for example, what's your plan if your first market push flops? Next, build in some buffer time and some budget. I like to think of this as an oops fund. Oops, oops. Whether it's an extra week in your project timeline or a little extra cash available for unexpected and unanticipated costs, this cushion could just save you a ton of stress. And finally, check in regularly. Once a month, sit down and ask yourself, what's working? What's not working? What's my biggest constraint? What's my biggest roadblock? What needs to change? This way, you're not just reacting to surprises, you're actually actively trying to stay ahead of them. And I would like you to think about a challenge you faced recently. How might a proactive goal have helped you avoid or handle it better? I'd like you to share your story in the comments, and I bet someone else has been here, someone else has been in the same boat with you. So it's important for us to share in this community because so many of us feel as though we're on an island. And from a business coaching perspective, I want you to take my word for it. You are not alone. Your situation is not unique. And I'm even going to go one step further and say you're probably having the situation because nobody ever showed you another way. Okay. And that is my goal here for you guys is let me take my, roundness of experience and share with you what I'm seeing with entrepreneurs and let you know that you are not an island. This problem is not unique to you. You're not the only person that's experienced. Let's form the community where we can actually start to come together and help level each other up and boost each other up. Okay. Okay, so let's get back to the lessons here. So let's talk about your team next. I want to know, is your team aligned and all rowing in the same direction? Or does it feel like everybody is doing their own thing or is entitled to do their own thing? When your team isn't aligned, it does create inefficiency, it creates conflict, and honestly, it can make you feel like you're carrying the whole business on your shoulders. So here's the thing. Alignment starts with sharing your goals. And if you're not ready to do this, try involving your team in a goal setting process. It's amazing how much more invested people are when they feel like their voices matter. Once goals are set, make sure everyone knows who's responsible for what. This clarity is important. I worked with a business owner recently who assigned her marketing team a clear goal: generate 500 leads per month. It gave them focus and accountability. And guess what? They crushed it. So finally, communication is key. Weekly check-ins, weekly team huddles, whatever works for you. The point is to keep everyone on the same page and catch issues before they snowball. So here's a quick exercise for you. Ask your team, what's the one thing that we can all focus on this quarter to make a big impact? You might be surprised by the answer. And you'll walk away with a much stronger and more united team. Here's another question for you. When was the last time you stopped and said, what's working and what's not? If your answer is, I've never asked that, or I don't remember, first of all, you're not alone. Many of us are so busy trying to look ahead that we forget to look back. Reflection is a game changer. Without it, you risk repeating the same mistakes or missing out on tons of lessons that could fast track your success. Set time aside every month to review your program. What's going well? What needs tweaking? For example, if you notice the customer retention rates are climbing, what are you doing right? And how can you do more of it? And to the opposite, if you notice that they're declining, ask yourself, what have I changed? Right? What has happened? What changes have I made in the system or the process? And you might want to consider reinstating those changes. And let's not forget to celebrate the wins too. One of my clients started doing this with her team, and it completely shifted the energy. Suddenly, they weren't just grinding, they were motivated and excited to keep improving. And lastly, make sure that you ask for feedback, whether it's from your team or your customers. A fresh perspective can help you see things that you might have missed. So take a moment now. What's one recent win in your business? Let's share it in the comments so we can all celebrate with you. So here's the truth. Sometimes you need an outside perspective to help you see the big picture. I am inviting you to book a complimentary 90-minute coaching session with me. Together, we can uncover what's holding you back and create a roadmap to move forward. The link will be in the description, and I encourage you not to wait to share. Don't wait, just get on this opportunity. Remember, strategic thinking isn't about doing everything, it's about doing the right things. I'd like to thank you for spending this time with me, and let me know in the comments what resonated most with you. And don't forget to follow for more tips to simplify your business growth. Here's to making 2025 your best year ever.